I'm sending to all participants of this important webinar the warmest wishes from South-South Cooperation Council, which brings together policy and academic leaders from Africa, Asia, Arab world, and the Americas, united in their desire to exchange best practices from the global South. We warmly applaud the initiative of Youth Center Foundation in Kuala Lumpur, because it highlights some of the key premises on which the future of our planet and well-being of its citizens depend. First, you have rightly placed the search for peace as your top priority. Peace has a very visceral importance to me for many reasons. I was born in Yugoslavia, a country which disintegrated following a bloody civil war. Most of my father's family perished in concentration camps, whilst my mother and my uncle fought in the resistance against German occupation in Second World War when they were still teenagers. I spent some of my student years in Nigeria and northern Cameroon, where Boko Haram now sows death and destruction. I worked in Kenya in many areas where the terrorist organization Al-Shabaab is active today. I also worked and visited 3 major countries now completely ravaged by war: Yemen, Libya, and Syria. And Colombia, my adopted country, only recently ended the longest civil conflict in Western Hemisphere. For all these reasons, any step towards peace is not only the mission of my organization, South-South Cooperation Council, but it also represents my own mission. The world wars of 20th century have now been replaced by regional conflicts. All of them were created as a result of colonial period or with subsequent interference by global powers, bleeding many countries to near extinction. Until the countries of Global South take their destiny in their own hands, the hemorrhaging will persist, as we have seen in Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, and Libya. This is not an easy goal, bearing in mind the deeply entrenched economic and geopolitical interests of great powers, old and new. In many ways, search for peace is now more difficult than ever because of scramble for economic resources, as we can witness today, for example, in the dispute in South China Sea, and now also in the Mediterranean. The situation is exacerbated daily by increasing corruption in countries of Global South, and also the desire to cling to political power by all means. Secondly, you rightly say that the future is firmly in the hands of youth, which the experience shows is more ready to embrace progressive ideas and whose zest for a better world with peace and climate in environmental justice is indefatigable. It is also free from dogmas and constraints of the existing international order. Thirdly, you are right to place emphasis on South-South cooperation, as we recently celebrated 12th of September, which the UN General Assembly designated as the International Day for South-South Cooperation. The Global South inherited colonial legacy, which crippled economic development and linked it with profit-making machinery of the developed world. My message to countries of Global South is to join forces, replicate good practices within their own regions, because they have so much in common in terms of social and economic conditions. The colonial legacy exists to this day, not only from European traditional colonial powers, but also to new emerging powers which have no interest in the well-being of countries of Global South, but only a desire for an easy access to their natural resources, particularly in Africa. So, what is the message to you, young apprentices who will become world leaders of tomorrow? Please know that you are a power vehicle for positive changes, as you showed during Arab Spring, and right now in Black Lives Matter, and even in the heart of Europe, in Belarus. Flex your muscle, be an engine for change, but obviously using Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence, all the more as violence often gives authoritarian regimes an excuse for responding by force. And of course, strengthening of the United Nations, whose Diamond Jubilee you're celebrating, remains the biggest hope to help maintain peace and also through climate change agreement, prevent wanton destruction of the planet. I wish this conference every success and look forward to receiving its output. We on South-South Cooperation Council commit ourselves to help in every way we can. Thank you.